now. So like you all must have tried this one. It is a linear arrangement where you have to schedule the given subjects in the in various time slots. So basically there's a 15-hour schedule available in a given day, and there are 7 different subjects. You have to arrange these subjects in that 15-hour schedule. Each subject has its own duration, right? Certain subjects are for 1.5 hours, the other subjects are for 3 hours, some are for 2 hours, and so on. So you have to find out how does it start and where does it end, the sequence of subjects, how much is the duration per subject, and the start and the end times basically, right? So it's like a typical linear arrangement. Let's all try it together now. Here we go. So as you can see, it says a group of 7 friends prepared a study plan for upcoming IBPS exam. Subjects like quantitative aptitude, English, reasoning ability, general awareness, current affairs, practicing on numbers, and newspaper reading are considered for the study plan, right? So if you have to use, let's say acronyms for these subjects, we can say quantitative aptitude, reasoning ability, we have English language, let's say, general awareness, current affairs, then newspaper reading, so let's say NP, which is newspaper reading, newspaper basically, and practicing on numbers is like numerical skills basically, so NS. So these are the 7 subjects, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now what does it say? Each activity, basically each subject was given a definite and continuous time slot. Each activity was given a definite and continuous time slot. Now it explains further, that is, there is no gap between 2 consecutive subjects. There is no gap between 2 consecutive subjects, right? Back to back, the subjects have to be arranged. In a day, a total of 15-hour class was scheduled. A total of 15-hour class was scheduled for these subjects here. An activity can start its slot from a whole hour or half hour only. That is, a subject can start from 4 p.m. or 4:30 p.m. and so on, but it cannot start from 4:13 p.m. or 4:03 p.m. etc. Right? So basically, it should start with a whole hour. It can start at 5, 5:30, 6, 2, 2:33, and so on. But it cannot start at 2:15. It cannot start at 2:20, and so on. And then we have been given 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 clues, right? Like the first one says, quantitative aptitude takes place from 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Only one activity took place between quantitative aptitude and general awareness. Time slot for general awareness is twice the time slot of quantitative aptitude, and so on. So based on these 7 points here, we need to do the complete arrangement. So let's try this out. Let me get some space. Yeah. So in this space, let me just try it out. So how do you want to proceed? See, in any arrangement, the start is very, very important, right? How do you want to start the arrangement is very important. Should you start with listing down the subjects, or should you start with listing down the time slots, and so on, right? So that plays a key role, right? The framework is very, very important, right? What is fixed and what has to be filled. You should have this clarity before you proceed with the possible arrangements there, right? I mean, it is also like an assignment problem, right? Whenever you solve an assignment problem, let's say there are 10 persons, a 10-floor building, each person likes a unique fruit, each person has a favorite color. What do you do? 1 to 10 is fixed, and then based on the data you just fill the gaps, right? So that is the that is the framework in which we are filling the attributes or parameters. In this case, what do you want to do? See, the only thing which is fixed is the 7 subjects. The sequence is not fixed. Which subject starts at what time, ends at what time is not fixed. The duration also is not fixed, right? So maybe you can list down the subjects, but the challenge there would be that the sequence will vary, right? I mean, you do not know the sequence. So even listing down the subjects is going to be complex in this case. So you should have all this thought process very clear in your head before you put anything on paper, right? Listing down the subjects does not mean that they'll be in that sequence. The sequence will change, right? May change in this particular case. So that clarity should be there before you proceed with the solution. So let's see, what do we do here? Now, if I quickly go through the points given, it says quantitative aptitude takes place from 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Only one activity took place between quantitative aptitude and general awareness. So I think I would like to first make pictorial representations. Before doing any framework, let's make pictorial representations. So quantitative aptitude took place from 11:30 to 11 to 12, right? 11 to 12, 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Right, so basically it is a 1.5 hours slot, right? 1.5 hour slot. 11 to 12:30 is 1.5 hour slot. Now next it says only one activity took place between quantitative aptitude and general awareness. So based on our our earlier understanding, what do we do? QA and general awareness will have only one subject in between them. And again, these two can swap their positions. It can be QA-GA or GA-QA, right? So the first point is done. We have read the point, we have understood what is given there, and pictorial representation is available. Next, time slot for general awareness is twice the time slot for quantitative aptitude. See, for quantitative aptitude is 1.5 hours. For general awareness, it should be 2 times of that. So it will be 3 hours. Yes or no? If QA is 1.5 hours, since this is double of that, this should be 3 hours. So this is also done. Reasoning ability took place between quantitative aptitude and current affairs, but it did not take place immediately after or before current affairs. So basically it says in the sequence, QA, then RA, then GA. Reasoning ability took place between quantitative aptitude and general awareness. No, quantitative aptitude and current affairs, sorry, not general awareness. Reasoning ability took place between QA and CA, right? Between QA and CA, but it did not take place immediately after or immediately before current affairs. It can be an immediate neighbor of QA, but it cannot be a neighbor of CA. It is somewhere in between them. So for example, it can be QA RA-CA or QA RA-CA, or it can be QA-RA-CA. All that is possible, right? So this understanding is RA somewhere between QA and CA, right? And also remember, it cannot be a neighbor of CA. You should keep that in mind. Next point says total time slot of English and reading newspaper is 4.5 hours. Total time slot, total of English and reading newspaper is 4.5 hours. So I can say English language plus newspaper is equal to 4.5 hours, right? So we know general awareness is 3 hours. This is 1.5 hours, and this is total 4.5 hours. So already out of the 15-hour slot, right? Out of 15-hour class, how much is allocated? 1.5 plus 3, 4.5. 4.5 plus 4.5, 9. 9 hours is distributed across QA, GA, EL, and NP. Next point, number of classes that took place between newspaper and current affairs is same as the number of classes between reasoning ability and newspaper. Now this is a very important point, right? Let's try and represent this. What does it say? Number of classes that took place between reading newspaper and current affairs is same as the number of classes that took place between reasoning ability and newspaper. So basically, if you see, newspaper is common here. Reading newspaper and current affairs is same as reasoning ability and reading newspaper. So basically, what it means is newspaper is exactly between current affairs and reasoning ability. You're getting it? First of all, it says newspaper and let's say current affairs. If there were X classes in between them, then the same X will be between reasoning ability and newspaper. Same X will be between reasoning ability and newspaper. So RA and newspaper will also have the same X in between. By combining these two, I can say that it will be RA, X classes newspaper, then X classes, then CA. Very, very important point, which probably will help us complete the arrangement. Between RA and newspaper, there are X classes. Between CA and newspaper also there are X classes. So it's obvious that newspaper will come exactly between RA and CA. There will be X classes between RA and newspaper, and same X classes between CA and newspaper. You're getting it? Of course, the sequence can change. It can also be CA, X classes, then newspaper, then X classes, then RA. Even that is possible. Yes or no? Nowhere it is given that RA should come before CA. RA can come after CA also. So this particular point of having same number of classes between newspaper and current affairs and reasoning ability and newspaper leads us to these two important points here. Next, time slot of reasoning ability is 1 hour less than the time slot for general awareness. Reasoning ability is 1 hour less than general awareness. See, general awareness is 3 hours. So can I say reasoning ability is 2 hours? Very, very simple. Yes or no? General awareness is 3 hours. So reasoning ability, since it is 1 hour less, it should be 2 hours. Right? And quickly the last point. What does it say? Current affairs reading starts from 5:30 p.m. Practice of the day ends with practicing on numbers for an hour. Two important points there. It says current affairs starts at 5:30 p.m. 5:30 p.m. Current affairs starts at 5:30 p.m. Right? It goes on till what time we do not know, but it starts at 5:30 p.m. And practice of the day ends up with practicing on numbers. See, practicing on numbers is the numerical skills thing, NS. We have already considered, right? We discussed this. Practicing on numbers is like the numerical skills. So the practice of the day ends up with numerical skills for an hour. So your last thing in the day will be numerical skills, right? And moreover, numerical skills is for 1 hour. Numerical skills is for 1 hour, and this is the last thing in the day. It is the last 1 hour, right? So I think these are the points given to us. We have read all the points. We have made all these conclusions. Now you have to get the arrangement, the sequence of these 7 subjects: start time, end time, and the duration. Okay. So what do we know? We know current affairs starts at 5:30 p.m. We do not know what time it ends at. Numerical skills is 1 hour, the last 1 hour. Quantitative aptitude starts at 11 a.m. ends at 12:30, 1.5 hours. General awareness is 3 hours. Reasoning is 2 hours. English language and newspaper is 4.5 hours together. Yeah. Then there is one subject between quant and general awareness. There is the sequence between QA, RA, and CA. Right. Of course, it can also swap. QA and CA can also swap, right? What was the point? The point was reasoning took place between QA and CA, but it did not take place immediately before or after current affairs. So these two can swap their positions: CA, RA, QA, or QA, RA, CA. And then this was one of the points: number of subjects between newspaper and current affairs, and number of subjects between reasoning ability and newspaper are same, X and X. So we'll lead to these two possibilities there. Now, how do you want to start the arrangement? See, I think I will like to start with this first of all. This is a very, very important point. This is a very, very important point, right? And I would also club it with this point. These two boxes. I am trying to use these two boxes first. What do we know? We know that reasoning ability should come between quant and current affairs, right? Now, if you look at this point, reasoning ability has already come here, and then there is current affairs here. Since reasoning has to come between QA and CA, so Q has to come somewhere this side. Yes or no? There are two possibilities. Case 1, let's say, and case 2. In case 1, what happens? Since RA has to be anywhere between Q and CA is here, so QA should be on this side. Right? QA will be coming somewhere this side. QA will come before RA. Right? It's not very clearly, I can maybe do this. I can erase this part. And then maybe explain it to you, right? So if you see, since RA should be between QA and CA, QA can come here in case number 1, right? What happens in case number 2? Look at case number 2. Same argument again. Since this is case 1, let's say, and case 2. I'm just trying to clear it so that you can follow it easily. In case number 2, current affairs is here and reasoning is here. Since reasoning has to be between QA and RA, QA has to come here. So these are the two possible sequences. QA, then there can be 1 or 0 or 2 subjects between QA, RA, then some subjects between RA and NP and then CA, or this one. Now, I can immediately actually eliminate case number 2. I can say case number 2 is not possible. It is wrong. Why is it wrong? See, we know quantitative aptitude started at 11 a.m. 11 a.m., right? This was 11 a.m. 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Yes or no? Quant started at 11 a.m. Current affairs started at 5:30 p.m. One of the points, current affairs starts at 5:30 p.m. So it's obvious that in the sequence from left to right, if you go, left being the first position, right being the last position, since quant was at 11 a.m., it should come before current affairs. Current affairs starts at 5:30 p.m. Quant starts at 11 a.m. So quant should come before current affairs. So can you have quant here in this case? Case 2, not possible. Because if current affairs is at some time, 5:30 p.m., quant here means it is after 5:30 p.m., which is wrong. Quant was at 11 a.m. First one is possible. Case number 1 is possible. Quant at 11 a.m., then current affairs at 5 p.m. Possible. That is possible, right? So case 2 is ruled out. There is only one case. And in that case also not everything is fixed. All we know is QA, 0 or 1 or 2 or 3 subjects in between them, then RA, then some number of subjects, NP, then some number of subjects, and then CA. Now, important. What can be the value of X? See, we know that number of subjects are equal between RA and RA, NP, and NP and C. So what can be the value of X is the question, right? First of all, if you see out of total 7 subjects, how many subjects do we have? 7 subjects, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this is 6, and this is 7, right? Out of 7 subjects, we have already got 1, 2, 3, and 4 subjects here. We have got QA, RA, NP, and CA. We have already got 4 subjects. The remaining are what? 3. Now this remaining 3 have to be distributed between these 2 x's. Are you able to follow? 4 subjects are already there. The other 3 have to be, this x should be such that the total of this 2x can be maximum 3. Right? You're getting my point. Also, if you see the other point that we know, this we have already used, so I'm leaving it now. The other point that we know is QA and general awareness will have one subject in between them. Quantitative aptitude and general awareness will have one subject between them. Try to use that. See what happens. I'm looking at case number 1. Now there are 2 possibilities. Either CA comes before QA here, or CA comes after QA here. You getting it? Both are possible, right? Both are possible. So that is one point. The other point is what can be the value of x? How do you want to use it? See, can x be 0? X can be 0. X can be 0. RA and NP are together, NP and C are also together. The point holds true then. Number of classes that took place between newspaper and current affairs is same as number of classes that took place between reasoning ability and newspaper. 0 and 0. Both are same. X can be 0, 0. X can be 1 and 1 also. One subject between reasoning and newspaper, other subject between, same one more subject between newspaper and current affairs. Can it be 2? No, it cannot be 2. It cannot be 2 because the moment you say x is 2, we have already got 4 subjects here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then there's 2 more subjects and 2 more subjects here. It makes it total 8 subjects. So the only values of x possible here are 0 and 1. Now if you go by that, what can happen? Since x is equal to 0 or 1, let's say if x is equal to 0, what is the possibility? If x equals to 1, what is the possibility? So if x equals to 0, what happens? There will be reasoning ability. Immediately there will be newspaper. Then there will be immediately current affairs. Yes or no? X equals to 0. X equals to 1, what is the possibility? There will be reasoning ability. There will be a gap of 1 since x equals to 1. Then there will be newspaper. There's gap of 1. And then there is current affairs. Right? These are the 2 possibilities. What next? So which one is correct? Is x equals to 0 correct or x equals to 1 correct? Is x equal to 0 correct or x equals to 1 correct? See, the other thing that I know is the last subject is numerical skills. It should end with numerical skills. It should end with numerical skills. Now try and observe. You have already got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 subjects. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? I know quant has to come before RA. And the last subject has to be numerical skills. Since 5 positions are already logged, only 2 positions are available. So obviously, one position has to come here, which can be numerical skills. The other position has to come here, which is quantitative aptitude. Yeah? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The sequence of 7 subjects will be like this. Again, observe. We know that quant and general awareness has only one subject in them, so general awareness comes here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 subjects are done, and this has to be English language. Now try to fix the timings. If timings can be fixed here, then everything is done. Otherwise, you'll have to jump to case number 1, which we have not concluded yet. Right? So quant starts at 11 a.m. So this is at 11 a.m. It goes till 12:30. Right? So what will be the thing here? 11 to 12:30. This starts at 11 a.m. Let's say it starts at 11 a.m. Right? It goes till 12:30. What is the duration? 1.5 hours. Now reasoning we have already found, right? Reasoning is for 2 hours. Now reasoning will start at what time? See, it started at 11 a.m. It goes on for 1.5 hours, meaning it will end at 12:30. So reasoning will start at 12:30 p.m. Right? 12:30 p.m. Reasoning starts at 12:30 p.m. It goes for 2 hours. This is 1.5 hours. This is 2 hours. So from 12:30, if something is started, it goes for 2.5 hours. General awareness should start at what p.m.? What time? 2:30 p.m. Yes or no? From 12:30 to 2 hours is 2:30 p.m. Reasoning started at 12:30. It goes up to 2 hours. So it ends at 2:30. And 2:30 immediately general awareness starts. General awareness is for how many hours? 3 hours. So something started at 2:30 and it goes on for 3 hours. Meaning it goes on till 5:30. Yes or no? It goes on till 5:30. Which means newspaper reading starts at what time? 5:30. 5:30 p.m. But something is going wrong here because we know that current affairs started at 5:30. According to the data, current affairs started at 5:30. Current affairs has not even come yet. Current affairs is somewhere here. We already have newspaper reading which started at 5:30. Is it not violating this condition? This condition should be satisfied, right? Current affairs starting at 5:30 has to be satisfied, which is, going wrong here. So case number 2 is wrong. which means we can conclude that case number 2 is wrong. Now you have to go and work on case number 1 itself, where the number of subjects between reasoning and newspaper is 0, and same number of subjects in the newspaper and current affairs also 0. So these 3 are together. RA, NP and CA are together. RA, NP and CA together. So this is done. This point is used. Sorry. This point is already used. Now, what do you want to do? We knew that QA and GA will have one subject in them. Now I'm trying to fix this. QA and GA will have one subject in them, and QA should come before RA. QA should come before RA. Yeah, so I think now what can happen? 3 positions have already come. 3 more positions will come here, which will be QA dash GA or GA dash QA. I mean GA dash QA or QA dash GA in these 3 positions. And the last position has to be that subject which ends with newspaper numerical skills. I think this should be the sequence. Are you able to follow? 3 were already fixed. RA, NP, CA were fixed. Since QA has to come before RA and there has to be one subject between QA and GA, GA cannot jump this side, right? QA has to come here before RA. So GA also will come before RA. Now the only thing is it QA dash GA or GA dash QA? That we need to fix. And last subject of course is numerical skills. Now if you observe QA dash GA, they will be taking these 2 positions anyway. Either QA dash GA or GA dash QA. In between it has to be English language. That is the only possibility. Yes or no? In between it has to be English language. That is the only possibility. Yeah. Now try to fix the times. I'll just clear it. I don't have enough space here, so I have to clear this part. I think now it's done. Now you can fix the time and answer the questions. Yeah. Anyway, let me write the times now. Right? We know at least some of the times. What do we know? We know current affairs started at 5:30 p.m. So this starts at 5:30. It goes on till what time? Current affairs is for how many hours? Do we know current affairs for how many hours? We do not know that. Okay, so it starts at 5:30. We do not know the end time, and we do not know the time of NS also. But what we know is numerical skills will be for 1 hour. Numerical skills will be for 1 hour. The last 1 hour, right? Do we know any other starting time? No. We know general awareness will be for 3 hours. Reasoning ability will be for 2 hours. Reading newspaper we do not know. See, reasoning ability for 2 hours I have fixed. Numerical skill for 1 hour we have fixed. What else do we know? Quantitative aptitude is for 1.5 hours. Wherever QA comes, it is for 1.5 hours. See, I think it will be the same problem again. If you put quant here, like in the previous case we had done, right? Quant was immediately before reasoning. If you put quant here, it starts at 11, it ends at 12:30. That means reasoning starts at 12:30, and since it is a 2-hour subject, it ends at 2:30. Then this starts, newspaper starts at 2:30. Did we know that newspaper reading is for 3 hours? Somewhere it was given, right? No. I don't want to try both the cases. I'm just trying to fix if it is possible to do it directly. Current affairs starts at 5:30. Yeah, so let's do one thing. I think there's no way out. Can we conclude somehow which comes here? Is it QA or CA? Let's say this is QA. For example, if this is QA in first position, it starts at 11, ends at 12:30. Which means English language is next. Yeah, So for example, okay, assume that this is QA. Since it is a possibility, let me use a different color so that we can know where we have to change. Suppose this is quantitative aptitude. What time did it start? It started 11:30. It starts at 11, right? It starts at 1100 hours. Now, if you see from 1100 hours to this time, 5:30, it's only 6.5 hours. 6.5 hours. You're getting my point. We are saying the day started with quant, which is at 11 a.m. and till current affairs started, it was only 6.5 hours, right? And we know numerical skills is for last 1 hour, so that makes it 7.5 hours, which means we are giving current affairs the remaining time, 15 hours minus 7.5 hours, remaining 7.5 hours for current affairs, which looks unlikely, right? Current affairs for 7.5 hours. So I would not take quant here, I'll take quant here itself, because then total 15 hours has to be balanced. We are not getting 15 hours. Except current affairs, the remaining subjects are taking only 7.5 hours, which looks a little unlikely. So you may change this and put quant here to try the possibility. Yeah. So let's say quant is here. I will take quant here, quantitative aptitude, and this is general awareness, right? This started at what time? 11, right? 11 to 12:30, which means 1.5 hours. 1.5 hours. Then reasoning would start at what time? It started at 12:30. I should have spaced them so that I can write the times. But anyway, quant is 11 to 12:30. Reasoning will be 12:30 to 2:30 because it is a 2-hour subject. So newspaper reading will start at what time? 2:30. Right? Now you see, newspaper reading started at 2:30. It is going on till 5:30. How do I know it goes on till 5:30? Because the next subject is current affairs, which is starting at 5:30. So it's obvious that newspaper reading took 2:30 to 5:30, which is 3 hours. Now try and understand, if newspaper reading is taking 3 hours, English language should take 1.5 hours because total is 4.5 hours. So I can say English language took 1.5 hours. And now I know that English language ends at 11 because quant started 11, English ends at 11. So if English ends at 11, it started at what time? 9:30. 9:30 to 11 is 1.5 hours. Right? Anyway, so newspaper reading is 3 hours. Current affairs started at 5:30. When does it end? We can't say that. General awareness, we know general awareness is 3 hours. This general awareness was 3 hours. So we will know the start of the day. See, general awareness is for 3 hours. It ends at 9:30. How do we know it ends at 9:30? Because only when it ends at 9:30, English language can start at 9:30. So which means general awareness time slot is 6:30 to 9:30. You getting it? It started at 6:30, ends at 9:30 for 3 hours. Next, English language 9:30 to 11, 1.5 hours. Quantitative aptitude 11 to 12:30, 1.5 hours. Reasoning 12:30 to 2:30, 2 hours. Newspaper 2:30 to 5:30, 3 hours. Now, if you see, what is the total now? 3 hours, 1.5 hours, 4.5 hours. 4.5 hours plus another 1.5 hours is 6 hours. 6 plus 2 is 8. 8 plus 3 is 11. Out of 15, if 11 hours is gone here, balance should be 4 hours. Out of that 4 hours, 1 hour is numerical skills. So this should be 3 hours. Are you able to follow? Total should be 15. We know all the values except current affairs. So we can find out what is current affairs. It comes out to be 3 hours. So if it started at 5:30, it ends at what time? 8:30. And numerical skill should be 8:30 to 9:30. That's the final arrangement. I know it looks a little clumsy. I could have spaced it evenly so that we can write these times, but you understand. Sequence of subjects is GA, EL, QA, RA, NP, CA, NS. These are the start times and end times at the bottom. And on top, what we have is the duration. So total duration is 15 hours. The day started at 6:30, ends at 9:30. That makes it 15 hours, right? 6:30 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. And the sequence of subjects. Now you can answer the questions very easily. Quickly go through the questions. First one, according to the study plan, how much time has been given for reading newspaper? Reading newspaper is 3 hours. Yes or no? Newspaper 3 hours. So that's your answer, 3 hours. How many slots are there between QA and current affairs? QA and current affairs. QA is here. Current affairs is here. How many slots are there between them? 2 slots. RA and NP. So 2 slots. Which of the following activities in the slot immediately after newspaper? What is immediately after newspaper? Very easy to pick. Immediately after newspaper is current affairs. So current affairs is not there. None of this. Next question. What is the difference between the duration of quant and reasoning? Quant and reasoning. Quant is 1.5 hours. Reasoning is 2 hours. So difference is half an hour. 0.5 hours. Last one. 4 of the following form a group as per the given arrangement. Which of the following does not belong to that group? General awareness, English, quant, reading newspaper, numbers. So 4 of the following form my group. What could be the logic? GA, English, QA, NP, and practicing on numbers. We are referring to GA, English, QA, NP, and practicing on numbers. So GA is 3 hours, English is 1.5 hours, QA is 1.5 hours, NP is 3 hours, and practicing on numbers is 1 hour. So how do you pick up the odd one there? 3, 1.5, 1.5. I'm going by durations, maybe that will help us. 1.3, 1.5, 1.5, 1.5. Sorry, 3, 1.5, 1.5, 3 and 1. So one way to pick the odd one is numerical skills, because that is 1 hour. Remaining all are multiples of 1.5 hours. This is 1.5 into 2, 1.5 into 1, 1.5 into 1, and 1.5 into 2. So that's one way of picking up the odd one. Let's also look at the time, start time, maybe that will give us some idea. 6:30, 9:30, this starts at 11:30, this starts at 2:30, this starts at 8:30. Another way of picking up the odd one is maybe quantitative aptitude. Why? Every other subject starts at the half hour time, like 6.5, right? I mean 6:30, right? It's not a, like it gave here, right? It's not a whole hour, it's a half hour. Like general awareness started at 6:30, English language started at 9:30, but quant started at 11, a whole hour. Again, newspaper reading started at 2:30, and numerical skills started at 8:30. So I think I would go for quant. Every other subject is starting at a half hour, except quant, which starts at whole hour. So I'll choose quant, unless there is a better reason available to do the classification. Anyways, the same story, answering these 5 questions attached with the arrangement is a cakewalk. What takes time is that arrangement itself, right? So not a very simple one. I think there are 2 times 2, about 4 possibilities, and you should be quickly able to eliminate 2 of those based on the sequence given there, right? That point which said reasoning was between quant and current affairs helped us eliminate 2 of the possibilities immediately. But then again, there were 2 more possibilities because of quant and general awareness having 1 subject between them. So important point to be noted here is that you should not be going by the amount of time we have spent here in solving it, because I was not solving it alone, right? I was explaining it to you guys. So it obviously takes longer, right? When you do it yourself, or when I have to do it myself, a lot of this stuff can be done mentally, right? I don't have to put everything on paper, right? And that naturally will save a lot of time. So please don't make up your mind that these are lengthy questions or it's taking too much of time. No, it is an explanation process, so it obviously takes longer. When you do it yourself, I'm sure you'll get the answers faster. So with that, I think we'll close the session here. Thank you once again for joining us. We will meet again tomorrow for your last session as a part of the series on 15 must-solve questions for SBI PO mains exam. Same time, 4:30 p.m. Until then, I would not say you should practice. You're just 2 days away from your exam, so relax, enjoy, do something that you like other than preparing for this exam, because that will help you, cool down, and you'll be able to walk into the examination center with confidence. I know it sounds a little ironical that I'm asking you not to prepare 1 day before the exam, because preparing 1 day before the exam or 2 days before the exam till the last minute will only add to your nervousness, right? You should be happy, you should be relaxed. So that can happen when you are not thinking about the exam itself. Okay, so yeah, I think spend 2 days in getting that confidence so that you can give your best during the examination. All the best. I'll meet you tomorrow, same time, 4:30 p.m. with the last part of this 15 must solve questions. Take care.